Okay, ladies, I'm going to give you notes today for worksheet 4.6. Some of them I've already typed up. I'm just going to talk about them, and then others we will work through together. Okay, first of all, this is writing equations for non-linear problems. The basic idea is the same as it was for linear. We're going to take some given information and plug it into the appropriate form. These are the forms that you're supposed to know: the absolute value form, quadratic function, in vertex form, in factor or intercept form, and then the square roots. These are the ones that we're going to work with for this. We can also work with the ax squared plus bx plus c, but it's actually a little bit harder. So we're going to work with these two. Okay? So here's the first example. Write an equation for a square root function. So the first thing to do is select the correct form. If you do not select the square root function, then nothing else will be right. Okay? The next thing is to plug in the endpoint. Okay? For the endpoint for a square root, the x value goes under the radical here, x minus 3, and then the y value goes on the outside plus 0. Those go in for the h and the k. And then plug in the additional point, and those go in, write this down, this is for the h and the k, and the additional point goes in place of the x and the y. Okay? Right? So the 7 goes here, and the 2 goes here. You might recognize that the most common mistake is to plug those in backwards. Right? Then the next thing we're going to do is solve for the value of a, because that's our missing piece of information. All right, 7 minus 3 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Divide both sides by 2, and a equals 1. Then you're going to write your final equation. Now, your final equation will have a y in it, and it will have an x in it. You will have replaced the a, you will have replaced the h, and you will have replaced the k. This time it was k was 0. All right, let's try another one. We're going to write an equation for an absolute value function. So the first thing to do is write down the correct function. Okay? Select the correct function. And then the second thing we're going to do is plug in the vertex. That's covered up. That vertex is 0, 4. Okay, so we're going to plug in the vertex. And the vertex, in vertex form, goes into the h and the k. Watch out for the minus. It's x minus 0, and then on the outside, plus 4. And then the next thing is to plug in the additional point. Plug that point in for the x and the y. So the other point was 8 for the x, 0 for the y. And then our next step is to solve for a. Okay? So 8 minus 0 is 8. The absolute value of 8 is 8. Watch out right here. People sometimes accidentally say 8 plus 4. But you might change this into 0 equals 8a plus 4 to keep you from making that mistake. Then subtract 4 from both sides. And again, you might have that as negative 4 equals 8a. And then divide both sides by 8, and there's our a value. Now, to write your equation, you need to keep the y, keep the x, plug the a in. I guess technically this is x minus 0 from the vertex. That's your h value, and then your k value on the outside here. Okay? All right, let's do one that I don't know any of the notes written for. Right? A quadratic equation for a parabola with a vertex of 1, 5. Knowing that you're given the vertex tells you to select the vertex form. That's the correct form. The second thing we're going to do is plug in the vertex for h and k. Form and then the vertex. The third thing we're going to do is plug in the point for x and y. Okay, the form, the vertex, the point, and then we're going to solve. So we're going to start with this inside part here. That's -1 squared, which is +1. Put that 1 in front of the A, or leave it all together so that I don't accidentally add the 1 and the 5. Subtract 5 from both sides, and that gives me the A value. A is equal to 2. And your final step is to write your equation. So you need to write y equals, plug in your A value, leave the place for your, plug in your x, then put your vertex in. And the vertex was 1, 5. So x minus 1, and then on the outside, plus 5. Okay? All right, one more. We're going to write a quadratic with zeros. Quadratic equation with zeros. So our form here is a x minus b x minus c. And the next thing you're going to do is plug in the zeros right here. Plug in the zeros for b and for c. So you'll notice when you plug in the 4, you get x minus 4. When you plug in the -1, x minus -1, you get x plus 1. Okay, so plug in the zeros. Okay, and then you're going to plug in the other point for x and y. So there's the other point, 5 into both of those x values, and y is -18, and then we're going to solve. So when you solve this, you want to start by simplifying these two sets of parentheses. 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Probably have better luck if you change that a times 1 times 6 into 6a, and then divide both sides by 6, and you get a is -3. Your equation, once again, comes from your general form. Your y is going to be there, and your x's are going to be there, and you're going to replace the a, b, and c. There's a, there's one of the zeros, and there's the other 0. Okay? Now, sometimes you can, if you have your calculator, you can check to see whether your equation's right or not by doing a couple of things. Get my calculator open here. All right, so the first thing you want to do is type in, I'm going to do the last one we did, just go in and type in whatever equation you just found. Be sure to double check. I know when I'm typing quickly, I make a lot of mistakes. So there's my equation. Go back to the home screen, second quit, back to the home screen. Go to table set, which is second window, and make sure that it says that the independent is on ask. And right now my independent's on auto, so I want my independent to be on ask. You go down with the arrow key twice and then move over to the right and hit enter, and that will select the ask. Make sure that the dependent is on auto. So this is what your screen should look like. Go back to the home screen, second quit. Okay. Then you're going to go to the table, second graph, there's a table, and you have a blank table. You're going to then tell it should have an x and a y1. You're going to then tell it x values and see what the y values are. So, for example, 4, I have 3 x values. I have 2 zeros. If I type in a 4 for x and hit enter, it should tell me that the y is 0. If I type in a -1 for x and then hit enter, it should tell me the y is 0. And the last point was 5, -18. If I type in the 5 and hit enter, it should tell me -18. And if I get all 3 of those points right, then that's a pretty good indicator that I have got that equation. Okay, so there are all of these steps. Do not skip any. You don't have to actually check it on the calculator. That's not required. But do not skip any of those steps that were given to you. Go back to the first page. All right, the steps that are indicated on the very first page and on every example that we did, that is to select the correct form, plug in the endpoint or the vertex or the zeros, plug in the extra point that's been given to you, solve, and then write your final answer.